Much better. My people, welcome. It's Trey, it's the Workhorse Media Group. Thank you for joining me. And if you found me here on the channel, then you see this is a new series called Let's Fix, where I bear the burden of looking back at some of our favorite black cinema or hood movies, and I pitch a different idea for the movie and try to make it better. That plain, that simple. You can see how good I do. And by the intro, you can see we're starting off with ATL, a low-key classic, a top-tier classic, one of my personal favorites anyway. It's right there on that line of being so bad it's good and actually being kind of good that people still want to watch it, and it's a very quotable movie. And it's got just enough wrong with it that I think that I can fix it. Two rules that I have for myself for this series is that, one, I can't add anybody in the movie. If you're not already in the movie, I can't put you into the movie. Two, I can't recast anybody in the movie. So I don't care how bad of an actor I think you are. If you're in, you gotta stay in. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, right off the bat, the main problem with this movie is that, okay, tell me what ATL is about. Okay, you either said nothing or you said too many things, both of which is a problem. So what we're gonna do is focus up and give this story a theme. The first theme is about brotherhood. All right, we're gonna focus up and make this story really about Ant and Rashad. Secondly, it's gonna be about building bonds. You'll see links with people linking with one another, bonding with one another, separating bonds. You'll get it once I start pitching the movie. All right, here we go. All right, right away, let's clean up some things, make some changes. I said I don't tamper with the people, like I don't add people in, but I can delete people, and I will be deleting Brooklyn. Secondly, instead of Aunt Rashad and Uncle George working as a cleanup crew, let's make them mechanics. Next, let's get them out of high school. Everybody in the movie looks like they're in their early 30s. The only person that's in high school in this movie is Ant. Esquire, he's already Ivy League. He's not in high school, he's already made it to college. Nunu is also in college already. It could be Spelman, it could be a historically black college, it cannot be whatever college you want to put her in, that's fine. It really don't matter anyway. I think that's all the changes I got. Let's roll. In the beginning of the movie, we always see Rashad and Ant together. They're at the body shop together, they're walking around, they're at the house together. They don't live with Uncle George. Rashad is in his middle 20s, so he's got his own place, and Ant lives with him because their parents are dead. Let's just say that. All right, so right off the bat, we're building that bond between those brothers and brotherhood, and we're making our main characters together. All right, we're keeping them sticking together. We can keep Ant with the kind of attitude where he doesn't want to work in the body shop. That's not what he wants to do. He really doesn't like to be in school. He skips school sometimes, and Rashad gets him, and he just scolds him. Like he really goes overboard. He berates him for doing it because Rashad is coming from a good place. He really wants Ant to focus up and get his degree, graduate college, and then move on to a higher learning, something that Rashad didn't get to do. So he's extra hard on Ant, and that's important. As far as Rashad, we're gonna paint him as the hustler. All right, he works at the body shop. He works at the skating rink. Oh yeah, another thing we're getting rid of, no skate groups. They don't do anything in the original movie with the skate groups anyway. Like, you know, the part where they introduce the skate groups names and they do they don't do anything after that with the skating group. So it doesn't matter. We don't need the skating groups. Okay, so Rashad, he works at the body shop, he works at the skating rink, and then on the weekends he goes to the street fair on a random corner, and he tries to sell his paintings. He just doesn't have the money or the connects to get his art to the next level. But he's a great artist, great drawer. We're gonna keep that angle from the original movie, and he tries to sell his art on the weekend. So one day or one night while Rashard is working at the skating rink, this is when Nunu rolls up on him. She can come to the counter, get some skates. This would be their time to interact, and T.I. can do his smart, hood, educated thug routine that he's really good at. And keep in mind, this isn't going like scene by scene, so it's not gonna run together like that. I'm just giving you story beats so you can kind of put the movie together in your head as you see fit. After that, one day on the weekend when Rashard is selling his art, Keith David, John Garrett in the movie, but Keith David's character stops by and he likes what he sees from Rashard's art. He talks to him for a bit, he buys a couple pieces of art, and he leaves Rashard a card that says, contact me in the future if you want to be serious about your art. Okay, so we've started the relationship art with Nunu, and then now we've given Rashard the art of Esquire in the original movie, where he meets up with this wealthy benefactor and it takes him to new places. We're gonna keep the plot twist, but we're gonna give it to the character that needs it. Okay, so while all this is going on, you can kind of see Rashard getting pulled in one direction by Nunu. He's getting pulled in another direction by John Garrett, and both directions are pulling him away from Ant, who really needs it. So Ant is at the body shop, and Ant's friend, the one in the original movie that jumped in the pool with all the money, the drug dealer friend, he pulls up in the body shop and he needs some work done on his car. So Ant is like, man, I ain't seen you in a while. How you get this car? How you get these clothes? He's like, if you want to make some quick money, some fast money, I can introduce you to my cousin, who is Big Boy in the movie. I don't even know his name. It should probably just be Big Boy, right? That's a cool drug dealer name, but whatever. So think the Big Booty Judy party, but like not with Rashard and Esquire and Teddy and all them. Like this is gonna be Ant's thing. So Ant and the friend roll up to the party. Everything's going on. So they go to the back room where Big Boy is, and they come in and Big Boy is beating up some random dude. All right, it don't have to be his cousin like the original movie. So Big Boy looks up after he gets done and he tells Ant, look, sorry, we'll pick this up in the morning. Meet me at the trap. At this point, we can pretty much keep everything we had in the original movie with Big Boy and Ant, because Big Boy gave a really good performance. Like that whole arc was really good. Let's just do that again. So getting back to Nunu and Rashard's relationship, it's important to note that, look, the two, they're really feeling each other, but it's also important to note we have to give Rashard a real reason to be mad when he finds out the plot twist of Nunu. All right, because in the original movie, everybody is kind of like looking back and like, why was he mad again? So we have Nunu, she's trying real hard to connect with Rashard. But remember, she's Aaron, she's really rich. She hasn't gone through what Rashard's gone through. So in order to empathize with him, she kind of lies. So through conversation, Rashard's telling her about his parents, and she's like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. I lost my parents too. Rashard's like, really? How do you get the stuff you get? How do you afford the car you drive and the new clothes and the new shades or whatever? And she's like, well, I strip for money. I work at a strip club. All right, so one day, Nunu and Rashard's driving. They're going down the road somewhere, and they wreck Nunu's car. Rashard insists on paying for it. Nunu's like, no, but she remembers that she's already in too deep, and she kind of has to go along with it. So Rashard heads home. He tells Nunu that she can stay with them for the weekend, and by Monday morning, he'll have it fixed. He goes, he gets his stash. Remember the stash that he had laying around at his house? He uses that stash, and he goes and he gives it to Nunu so he can take it and he can get the parts and get the car fixed. This is also where we can have the scene of Nunu with Rashard in his room. All that from the original movie. Rashard gets him cutting. And this is kind of where everything is going to start falling back into place with the original movie. Because like I said, the original movie had some good parts. So Ant is on the come up. Like in the original movie, he's got the earrings, he's got the bling, he's got the status, he's got the girls. He's coming in and out the house with different girls. He's not coming home sometimes. He's coming home super late sometimes. And the moment that Rashad and Nunu, they're home, Ant comes home late. And Rashad meets him. Like he hears him come in and he meets him. He questions and he's like, where have you been? What you doing? Where you got this money from? Get all this stuff from? You want to be a dope boy? That scene, they fight. So they're throwing blows. Like in that fighting scene at Uncle George's house, that's what happens. Like he's punching on Ant, like he's beating him up. And Nunu hears this. So she jumps up and she tries to stop Rashad. Well, Rashad gets her and he pushes her down. Like he pushes her out of the way. He's in a rage. He's so mad at Ant. Like he just throws her to the ground. And then he stops. And he looks up. Ant sees a moment to flee. He gets up. Ant leaves. Rashad looking at Nunu. Nunu's on the ground. She gets up. She just walks away. No words are spoken. So early in the movie, we found out that Rashad has this big meeting coming up for an art dealer that wants his art and is gonna pay him a lot of money. And he's been set up with John Garrett to, meet this person. So Rashad's getting ready for their meeting, but he decides to show up to John Garrett's place early. And John Garrett's like, oh, great. Like, I love that you're here because you get to meet my daughter. She's never home. She's always at school. So let me call her down. Let me introduce you. And he calls down Nunu, which is Aaron, because that is a great plot twist. It's like a top tier plot twist in hood movie history. This is where you also use the F-bomb, because in the original movie, he just drops the F-bomb. In the PG-13 movie, he just says it to get his friends off the porch. This is where you do it. You have Rashad looking at Nunu in this big, rich place, looking at Nunu's dad and mom living, and he's like, what? And he storms out the house. He's angry. Nunu follows him. John Garrett's like, you know him? And I know some of this is some of y'all's favorite part, so we can still have the scene where Nunu drives up to Rashad's house, gets out as Aaron, and they have that conversation. Rashad snatches the chain off of it. We can still keep all that in. And now we can really just wrap the movie up kind of how it did originally. All right, Ant gets in a bad way with Big Boy. Big Boy's on the lookout for him, but Ant doesn't go get chocolate milk. He gets set up. Like, one of the other drug dealer friends calls him, and Ant's like, yeah, come pick me up from this spot, but it's actually Big Boy. Something like that. All right, so Big Boy catches up with him. Ant calls Rashad. Rashad doesn't pick up. Ant leaves a voicemail. All right, Big Boy and Ant have their meeting. Rashad zooms in for the save. He actually intentionally wrecks his car into Big Boy's car, trying to give Ant just a little slightest edge to get out the car and go. But Big Boy, Rashad get into this big fight. They're going one-on-one. Big Boy's getting the upper hand. Ant comes back to help. Big Boy, beats up Rashad, turns around, shoots Ant. All right, now with Ant now in the hospital, this is the moment that Rashad realizes that, all right, I've gone too far. My anger has got me. I've wanted the best for my brother this whole time, but I've been so mad and I've been so angry that I've done nothing but push him away, and this is where we are. We are in the hospital. He's fighting for his life. He calls Nunu. She comes to the hospital with him. They reconcile there. Ant, he gets all better, and we can wrap up the movie. Ant does better. Nunu and Rashad, they get back together. Rashad, sells his paintings, his drawings or whatever, actually gets the money. They reschedule the event. John Garrett's happy. Everybody's happy. Happy, happy, happy. End of the movie. I hope that all just didn't sound like rambling. I hope that was a coherent plot. And if it was, tell me, do you like that version better? Do you like the original version better? Do you like none of it? Like, do you hate ATL? You can like, share, subscribe, engage, share again. And if you like it, we'll keep it going. I'll try to do this for all the movies, all the hood movies, all the black cinema movies. I'll do them. Till next time, I'll see you.